Welcome to Rise Above Performance Training's 15 Minutes of Strength, the show where we explore and discuss the vast landscape of strength to help all of us live our best and strongest lives. I'm your host, Doug Fiorinelli, and this is episode 12, How to Work Out by Yourself. In this episode, I want to go over how to work out by yourself successfully. Yes, there are benefits. I do most of my training and working out alone just because I'm at the gym and that is my downtime. I'm there all day long and I got to get it in. Ideally, I would like to have people there, but I had to find a way to work out consistently, achieve my goals, and do it by myself. So like I said, there are benefits, and I'm going to show you how to frame that so you are able to work out alone by yourself and be successful. The two most challenging elements go hand in hand, and that's going to be motivation, and therefore motivation will affect consistency. Now, if one or the other is off, obviously it will stifle progress. Between the two, motivation and consistency, I'm going to say consistency is king or queen. You can have load of motivation, but you got to find a way to do it anyway. I am going to assume that most people, like myself, are not hyped or motivated every day. I would say the majority of the time, you are probably not hyped or motivated to do most things. For some weird reason, biologically, our bodies are programmed to be very efficient and very lazy because laziness is efficiency. Not efficiency for work, not efficiency for getting things done, but efficient for survival. So the less you put yourself in stressful situations and just kind of stay on sleep mode all day long, yes, you will probably, be able to survive the day a lot easier without risking anything. And it's just some weird biological thing that I've read about, but I don't know, the scientific reason behind it. Again, motivation is not going to be there probably 85% of the time for you. So you have to find a way to do it. And that is just with consistency. So consistency is number one. To see results, obviously, you have to be consistent. So you have to do it on the motivating days and you have to do it on the unmotivated days. And, it is possible to do that. When you are working out alone, you're going to be working out alone, it's best to schedule your workout for that day. So that way the day can't get away from you, or you come home and you sit down on your couch and I'm just going to rest here for 15 minutes. And then you just don't feel like working out even more so. So schedule it out. So I always have a break right around the late lunchtime, and that is my time to do it. I try not to do any paperwork or make too many emails because I know if I start going in the workflow after I've actually worked with clients or classes, I know it's very easy to let it slip away and then like, oh no, I got my student athletes coming in. I have, 15 minutes. I can't get a workout in. Darn, I missed it. So if I schedule it 1 o'clock, I'm going to start my mobility. I'm not going to sit down in my chair. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to answer emails. That is my schedule. I start my mobility and then that also starts my workout. Now with the schedule and being alone and being at work, also things can go belly up. So having a backup plan if things change that day is a good thing to have. So let's say my 1 o'clock workout schedule did not go so well. I get interrupted, whether it's, someone email me with a little more urgency or a new prospective client. I want to get to them and talk to them and make sure I explain my services to hopefully get them in. And then that can eat up my workout time. So that I would offer a backup plan for myself. So that would be like, oh man, okay, if I still have time to squeeze it out, I may have to backup plan or change my workout to be a little bit more, let's say, knock it out kind of thing. Or I'm just going to do kettlebell swings and push-ups versus the planned pull-ups and barbell squats and deadlifts with longer rests. So that is maybe one backup plan. The second backup plan could be like, this got away from me. I'm finishing work at 6 o'clock. I am going to go for a 3-mile walk before dinner. So that is my backup plan. I'm still getting it in. The option to not get it in is, very low priority. I don't even make it a thought in my head, because the consistency again is the king or queen. I want to keep that consistency going, and nothing's going to get in my way of that consistency. Now the details might have changed, but no, the consistency is there. So again, be mindful of a backup plan if things don't go the way you anticipated for that day and your perfect schedule. On top of a backup plan, it's good to have a plan for your workout. So sometimes when we're alone and we're not able to work out, with somebody else, then making decisions for us, like let's say, okay, your friend comes in and it's bench press and lat pull down day. And, if you're working out alone, you can obviously get a little bit like, what do I do? Or I don't know, what do I feel like doing? Maybe I should do this. Or again, your body might kind of go into this mode of self-preservation, and you might not get a great workout in. You might be like, you know what, I'm going to skip the single leg exercise today because I just don't really like them. So I generally like to have a plan for my workouts. So not only does it help the consistency of maintaining a exercise schedule, but it also helps me make sure that I get the goals or the exercises in that I need to for that week. For example, I always try to get a form of squat in and a form of barbell deadlifting in. If I'm really tired, I'll go with kettlebell deadlifts, but I like to maintain my barbell deadlift. So I put that in once a week, and I know I'm going to do it. Now, it might not be on a scheduled day. I kind of, go and see what time I have, and also to see how the body's feeling. Now, during my mobility warm-up, I check in with my body and I see, what, my hips are feeling good. My back feels good. I'm going to go for deadlifts today, and I'll do that. And if I don't, then I'll push it out and be like, I'm going to do deadlifts tomorrow. Make sure I get a good workout in today. Maybe I'll do some lower level single leg exercises, but I'll get my deadlifts in tomorrow with good recovery today. So once I have the weekly things done of things I want to get in, then I make my daily plan as I talked about. So I'll usually do a warm up, and then I figure out what I want to do for that day. And that's based on the warm up to see, how I'm feeling. But also, if I'm feeling good, I'll increase the weight, or I'll increase the volume or density in terms of the number of sets and reps and weight that I use. If I'm feeling good, let's say with deadlifts, but I don't feel like pushing it. Like if I push it a little bit more, fatigue faster, maybe I'll run into, some back issues, or my knee will get cranky tomorrow. I'm pretty in tune with my body at this point, which I've been doing it for a while. I will say, okay, I'm going to focus on form of the deadlift, or I'm going to do more sets of this lower weight and focus on the form, focus on how I feel, movement quality. If I'm not very energetic, I'll slow things down and say, okay, I'm not going to do a lot of dynamic work or kettlebell swings. I'm going to slow things down today, work on, let's say, strict pressing, or I'm going to work on, maybe very slow single leg exercise like eccentrics. I'm going to work on my step downs or slow hip bridges on a bench. So those are kind of things I get from my daily goals for my workouts, and then I have a better workout that way. Sometimes when you work out with a partner, you're kind of at a mercy with that person. So let's say the person comes in and they're all fired up and they're like, we're going to go bench press and we're going to go heavy maxes or 2 RMs today, and you're not feeling it. You can, peer pressure kind of thing, you can go for it, but it might not be the best thing, and you can push yourself to getting hurt. So it's a fine balance. I mean, yes, you need those days where someone's going to push you a little bit more than you anticipated, so you get past that next level and inspire you, but also you can get pushed to the point where you weren't feeling that day, or you ignored those warning signs during your warm up, and that pushes you over the edge a little bit, where again, that's going to pull away from the consistency, because maybe now you're injured and you're not able to work out as frequently. So be very mindful when you're alone. Everything's a lot quieter. You don't have distractions. You can even, turn off the music when you're working out and start working internally, like see what the body's telling you. And I noticed for myself working out alone, I became much better at understanding my body and understanding my movement. I worked on movement quality a lot. Like, is my body balanced? Does it feel stable? What's my knee doing when I'm squatting? just focusing on the little things more so than focused on getting the weights up really fast or adding weight. So I'm really focusing on movement quality. And I found that to make myself a little bit stronger, a little more mindful, and a little more resilient going forward, in the years, but also in progression of exercises. Now, working out alone has another odd benefit, and I don't know if I do this just because I am a gym owner, but you can multitask. But you also want to be, mindful of your workout. The workout is number one. You don't want to say, okay, I'm going to do a bunch of emails in between and then lose your place in your head with your workout and lose track of time and also not get the workout in. So maintain the workout as number one. But while you're resting, send that quick email. Send that quick text message. I tend to bring the vacuum cleaner out and clean the gym in certain corners, that I'm not working out in for a minute or so while I'm resting in between squats. So I tend to multitask, and that also helps me out because it forces me to rest. It also forces me to get things done that I want to do, very low level things that I need to do, like cleaning. Also, maybe sending that quick email. Sometimes I run into the office and do quick paperwork or file that in there. I found that to be very, very helpful. Just getting things done throughout the day. Other things I do is I will, check a person's program that's coming in later and get a sense of idea of what we're going to do for that day or what they've been doing and how we want to structure their weights and things going forward in between my sets. So find anything you want to do to multitask. When I worked at a commercial gym, I knew I trained a wife and her husband was an avid reader. I wish I was as good a reader as he was. And he always had a book there. And, he probably read more than he worked out, but he always had a book that he was reading. So some days I'll bring in a book that I'm reading and, read a couple paragraphs in between, something that's not that heavy or, not the book itself, but the material, let's say, and I would just read a couple pages and then, kind of go back to my workout. So instead of maybe clicking on your phone or scrolling through Instagram or, changing music all the time, be productive and multitask while you have this alone time. And you'll find a way to, be better the day, get more things done. And then when you go home, you can rest. Lastly, like I mentioned earlier a little bit, like working inside, be retrospective. Working out alone is a nice opportunity. I mean, during the day, whether, if you have family or if you have a pretty, stressful job or, anything like that, situations going on with health stuff with your family or anything, having that alone time is actually pretty kind of just glorious, really, just having a few minutes to yourself. It'll give you a chance to calm down. It'll give you a chance to process things. Have you ever made a good decision when things are coming at you 100 miles an hour at all angles? Probably not. So I noticed for myself is something that's a major decision or something, even maybe not a major, but let's say a scheduling issue or for the weekend, like how am I going to fit all these pieces into one box? If I take a day and let it settle, let all the pieces kind of settle in my brain, and then when I'm working out, I can kind of put the pieces together. And I figured, that's a good way for me to have my alone time, be able to actually think strategically and thoughtfully, and I'm actually more productive. So, you cherish that alone time. Not only you're trying to get something out of your workout, try to get something out of yourself during that, like self-reflection or figuring out your weekend or figuring out how you're going to bring the kids to soccer practice and ballet and, get everything done and just, make yourself better, not only physically, but mentally, and being there for not only yourself, but for other people. So that alone time just really calms the noise and gives you that opportunity. So see it as an opportunity, not as a curse to be like, oh, no one's looking, I don't have to work out, or no one's here and I'm not really motivated because I need my friend to push me. We got to figure out how to be consistent and how to embrace that working out alone and being by yourself for that hour and really getting the most out of it. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you found the information valuable. If you like the content and want to hear more, please consider subscribing to the podcast. It's on iTunes and Spotify as well as other places. And also check out the Rise Above Performance Training YouTube channel. I have a ton of videos out there on exercise tutorials and self-help with things like knee pain and back pain and exercise progressions. Also, check out riseabovestrength.com and sign up for the monthly newsletter. So again, I only do it monthly. I don't send it out a bunch. And they'll be packed with a bunch of free information on exercise and training. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. If you have any topics that you want me to cover, shoot me an email. All the show notes will be down below in whatever system you're listening to, so you can reach out and find those things there. I want to thank you for joining me today. And remember, all the strength you need is on the inside and reinforced on the outside. Let's have a great week, everyone. Take care.